Hello, hello, my valued listeners. Oh my gosh. So good to have you back, and I want to welcome you back to Unpopular Opinion with Schaafy and Pals. We are live here in the Schaafus. This episode is titled Santa versus Jesus, the Christmas Debate. And we got some hot topics today. We're gonna get on it, but I gotta go and hit you with a quick disclaimer. So, this podcast is designed for entertainment only and is considered comedy fiction. While certain facts, historical figures, and locations, such as Mount Homa High School, may be referenced, this program is purely the opinion of its host and should not be used as evidence, theological instruction, or historical proof. Any similarities to real persons living or dead or actual events are purely coincidental, satirical, or used for comedic effect. No magical figures, whether historical or legendary, were harmed in the making of this episode. Viewer and listener discretion is strongly advised. If my damn buttons. So, it's called Unpopular Opinion, but I got to say the disclaimers clearly because we got a heavy subject today. And before we light the match and dive into this week's fire starter of an unpopular opinion, I have to give a huge update on our Mount Tahoma T-Birds. It's been an incredible run, and I couldn't be prouder of the team and the coaches. I do have to report the T-Birds unfortunately lost a heartbreaker in the state championship game. It was last night. 21-14 to O'Day High School, who became back-to-back 3A state champions. It was a classic championship game with incredible back-and-forth action. It was a hard-fought battle in the wind at UW Husky Stadium. And let's be real, Husky Stadium is practically O'Day's home field advantage, so they did have a slight advantage over it, but the T-Birds fought with heart and soul until the end, when they finished the season with a record of 13-1 and placed second in Washington State 3A football. My hat's off to our Mount Tahoma Thunderbirds. Now, the reason I bring up heart and soul is because I spent the entire game sitting next to one of the best people I know, my boy, Terry Coltrane, who is simply a great friend. And I want to tell you a quick story about Terry. Back in 2011, when our close friend Justin Jansky died, many of you know I dealt with that grief in the bottom of a whiskey bottle. One night, in a fit of unbearable sadness and pain, I was on the floor, literally punching the ground, screaming, "Why, Justin, why?" It was like something out of a movie. I had broken. I was overwhelmed with sadness and despair, and I was drunk. Terry came into my kitchen and saw me. He picked me up from the ground. He literally picked me up from the ground, and he just hugged me. He wouldn't let me be down. And I remember him saying, "I can't let you be down like that." Whew. This is the first on unpopular opinion. Schaafy's getting a little choked up here. Fast forward to last night's championship game. We were going into halftime. We were down 7-0. And the first half definitely didn't go the way that we had pictured. It was a little bit of a different T-Bird football that we had seen, right? And it was cold, it was windy, and I was feeling a little deflated, to be honest. Terry just disappeared for a second, and he came back with 2 hot chocolates in his hands. And he wouldn't let me be down, even over a football game. It was perfect. It was delicious, and it was as comforting as the hug that he gave me 14 years ago. And when I took the last sip, about a quarter later, I remember saying, "Oh, that last sip was cold chocolate, not hot chocolate." And him and we both laughed. It was funny. But that's the type of guy that Terry is. He does this with a silent brilliance. He's one of the greatest friends I've ever had. And thank you, Terry. If you are listening, I hope that you have seen some changes in me as I embark on the rest of my life sober. And I love you, brother, and thanks for always picking me up. I appreciate you. And all right, so let's let's get the party people back into action. That's why I gotta bring you up, I gotta bring you down, and then I gotta bring you back up. So the Christmas season is here. We're going deep. It's time for the theme song. Let's get this show on the road. Party people, let's go. Unpopular Opinion, that's the name of the show. Hosted by Schaafy and some pals that he knows. We'll have a heart-to-heart, so tune in and subscribe. It's Unpopular Opinion and a hell of a vibe. Love it or dislike it, it's all just the same, because Unpopular Opinion is there in the name. All right, welcome back. This week's Unpopular Opinion is one that might get me banned from every holiday party, but I stand by it. Here it is. Santa Claus is, in a factual, historical, and cultural sense, more real than Jesus Christ. What did he just say? Now, listen, before the hate mail starts filling the inbox, you got to let me be perfectly clear. This is not an attack on faith. This is an analysis of historical, cultural impacts, and verifiable evidence. We're comparing a theological figure who is real through faith with a secular figure who is real through history and tangible cultural effect. So let's dive in. You know, in Schaafy and Pals, Unpopular Opinion, what I typically do is I give you 3 talking points, and I want to dive in. Let's dive into these 3 talking points that kind of give an explanation on why my opinion holds water. So the first talking point is the historical foundation versus the faith-based narrative. So my first point is simple. Santa has a documented, verifiable origin point. He is based on Saint Nicholas of Myra, a real-life Greek Christian bishop who lived in the 4th century AD. Historians agree he existed. His tomb is a literal tourist site in modern-day Turkey. His miracles were documented acts of charity, like providing dowry money to poor families, and other deeds that are recorded and accepted as historical fact by non-religious scholars. His story starts with a man who walked the earth, and that fact is undisputed. Contrast that with Jesus Christ. While nearly all historians accept that a Jewish preacher named Yeshua existed in the 1st century, his divine claims, his resurrection, and his miracles, like walking on water, turning water into wine, those are all matters of faith in Scripture, not historical consensus. So when you strip away the theology and dogma, One figure is undeniably a person who performed verifiable secular deeds. The other requires a leap of faith to accept his complete divine narrative. The starting point of Santa, in the starting point of the Santa narrative, is stronger in historical fact. My second talking point revolves around the two faces of commercialization. This alone is one of the reasons why, for a really long time, I stopped participating in Christmas altogether. So, Santa is the physical embodiment of secular morality. Be good for goodness sake, and you will be rewarded. However, the tragedy here is the unfortunate commercialization. The spirit of St. Nicholas, the quiet benefactor, has been entirely co opted. He went from a giver based on charity to a symbol of mandatory December spending. But this is where his realness gets complex. He is the engine of a global holiday economy. He represents billions of dollars in verifiable economic activity, employment, shipping, and marketing. This commercial reality makes his existence as a cultural institution absolutely undeniable. The impact of Santa Claus is measurable by quarterly earning reports and GDP bumps. The commercialization may be unfortunate as it distracts from the pure spirit of giving, but it solidifies his status as a very real, measurable, tangible force in the modern world. This point is critical. Both figures have been tragically commercialized. While Santa is the physical embodiment of secular morality, he is also the ultimate pitchman for consumption. His unfortunate commercialization is well known. He went from a silent benefactor to the engine of a mandatory December spending, as I mentioned earlier. But here is the balance. Christ has been commercialized just as ruthlessly. We buy religious themed merchandise. People attend megachurches built on multi-million-dollar budgets and consume media and books that generate vast wealth for publishers and ministries. When we look at the entire holiday season, the spending is split between the secular, Santa, gifts, etc., and the religious, donations, nativity sets, music licenses. The Christmas season is the single largest economic driver in the Western world, and its success relies equally on both figures. The difference, and why this still leans towards Santa's realness, is that Santa's commercial reality is the entire purpose of his modern existence. He is a verifiable economic force that you can measure on a balance sheet. The commercial reality of Christ is a byproduct of faith. They are both cash cows. But Santa is the one you see on every billboard selling a soda, making his quantifiable commercial impact undeniable. Talking point number 3. The evidence is tangible. The cookie and the empty stocking. Let's talk evidence. If real means having proof that you can see, touch, or measure, Santa wins, hands down. The evidence of Santa Claus is a phenomenon that occurs in millions of households around the globe, and it is entirely physical. The proof is concrete. The gifts under the tree, the half-eaten gingerbread cookie, the empty glass of milk, the handwritten note. These are small, deliberate acts of stagecraft designed to provide proof of a visit. A child can wake up, observe the evidence, and confirm something happened here. This confirmation of an event in the physical world is the basis of reality. The evidence for the divine works of Jesus is found in faith, scripture, and personal revelation. The evidence for Santa is found in the physical reality of the chimney soot, the chewed up carrot for the reindeer, and the physical gifts. The Santa experience is a real shared cultural event. The Jesus experience is a real shared spiritual event. So, in the realm of the tangible, the man with the sack full of consumer goods is more real. And speaking of tangible reality, the image of the jolly, plump man in the bright red suit, yeah, that iconic look was largely standardized and you get what I'm saying, in the 1930s by Coca-Cola through their advertising campaigns. So the verifiable reality of Santa's appearance today is directly tied to a marketing department in Atlanta. So those are my 3 talking points. Whew. You probably don't agree with me, but let's take a deep breath. And I want to get into the heart to heart segment. And I want to balance my aggressive, unpopular opinion with something crucial. And that's the goal. When you look at the core lesson of both figures, you get the same ethical result. Jesus offers the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Santa offers the simple rule: be good for goodness sake, and you will be rewarded. They are different paths, but they lead to the same destination: a moral, compassionate life. To contrast them, Santa's system is based on tangible evidence and reward. The golden rule is based on faith and empathy. My argument is that Santa's foundation is more concrete and verifiable. However, I fully acknowledge that the belief in Jesus Christ provides a deeper, more enduring source of meaning, comfort, and purpose for billions of people. And this is where faith may win over the tangible, concrete evidence. Ultimately, whether you are driven by the fear of God, the hope of heaven, or the simple desire to be on Santa's nice list, the goal is to be happy. I respect any way you get to that place, as long as your morals are intact. Use the path that provides you with the most meaning and joy, whether it has a theological foundation or a historic secular one. And to jump into another piece of a heart to heart, I want to bring up the idea of lying to your kids about Santa Claus, and how, in my opinion, which has changed over the years, but for now, I think that we should do it. It's okay. You are not lying. You are providing a scaffolding for empathy. The Santa story is the only lie a parent tells that ends with the child learning how to be the better, more generous version of the liar. You are teaching them how to keep the magic alive, how to give selflessly, how to participate in a communal act of goodwill. When the lie is revealed, the child isn't hurt by the deception. They're elevated to the rank of Santa, and they learn how to carry that tradition forward. That is the real beautiful truth behind the Santa fiction. The real magic of Santa and the Santa story is the transition. The moment the child figures it out, the parent brings them into the conspiracy. You shift the power from yourself to them. You tell them, congratulations, you figured it out. The job of Santa is now yours. We make the magic for others. You turn them from a receiver into a giver. You are not robbing them of truth. You were not giving them the gift of knowing how to create sadness. You're giving them the gift of knowing how to create joy and wonder for someone else. That shift is one of the most real, heartfelt, and beautiful lessons a parent can give. Keep the magic alive. I was talking about this exact point here, and I was having this heart to heart with a pal of the show. We all know, arguably one of the most popular pals we've had on Unpopular Opinion with Schaafy and pals, our good friend Amber. Amber was telling me about her girls and when they figured it out and how her and Adam handled the situation. And they came from a very similar position here. They said, wow, you know what? You're right. You figured it out. Mom and dad are the ones that are putting the presents under the tree and et cetera, et cetera. But there's a magic involved here. And we're keeping this magic alive based upon tradition. And now you're in on it. And the important piece that they stress for the girls is now the cool part is that you're in. And so you get to now give, but don't take that magic away from other kids that still believe in it and still haven't figured it out like you yet. Don't take that away. And from my understanding of our conversation, the girls got that and they were like, oh yeah. And they were excited to be in the inner circle, right? But also not steal that magic away from other kids. And that's what it's all about, keeping that magic alive. And those are things that can be measured. That's the beautiful truth behind the Santa fiction. The reality is it's based upon a real person that's secular. We know that he existed. His tomb is in Turkey. We can go visit it. It's undeniable. Speaking of things that are undeniably real and can be measured, honest segue. Hey, are you achieving that jolly plump look that Coca-Cola popularized back in the 1930s? Are you getting there? Let's talk about, let's switch gears from the theological debate to the physical one. We've been talking about keeping the magic alive, but to keep my personal magic alive, I've been working out. That brings us to the product of the week. It's something that has been a lifesaver for my upper body on the go. And I have it right here. Oh, look at this. It's called the Adjustable Power Twister Bar for portable upper body workouts. Now, this isn't just some fancy digital tech. This is old school muscle torture. It's a spring-loaded bar with handles that you push together. The adjustable part is key. You can dial the resistance up or down, from wimpy office worker to trying to crush a coconut with your bare hands. Now, I love it because you can do a quick upper body blast anywhere. Now, I hit the gym with my trainer, Nick Glutes, 3 times a week. But if I'm sitting around thinking about how my T-Birds lost or getting annoyed by a controversial online opinion, wink, wink, I just pick up this twister bar. It's a great reminder that keeping the magic alive, the joy, the sobriety, the energy requires real daily effort. The focus isn't on getting massive. It's about just making a choice to get stronger every single day so I can keep showing up. The Adjustable Power Twister Bar, it'll keep your delts bumping and your resolutions intact. And I don't know if you're counting, but I just did over 1,000 of these. Oh, it's a deep burn. And if you hold it, that's pretty dope. But be careful because this thing is spring action and you can hurt somebody. And always consult with the instructions it comes with. You don't want to hurt yourself. And make sure you stretch and stay very hydrated. So All righty, all right, all right. That's the adjustable power twister bar. Go grab one and feel the burn. Speaking of things that take a little effort and require a strong connection, we're going to head back to the final segment. Keeping it short and sweet on these holiday episodes. Stick around after the theme song for People Are Talking.
Unpopular Opinion, that's the name of the show. Hosted by Schaafy and some pals that he knows. We'll have a heart-to-heart, so tune in and subscribe. It's Unpopular Opinion and a hell of a vibe. Love it or dislike it, it's all just the same, because Unpopular Opinion is there in the name.
People are talking. Talking about people. When Amber said that, every time I'm going to bring that up, that to me was the funniest thing. I need to have a soundbite of her saying that. So I'm like, people are talking, Amber. She's talking about people. This anecdote ties right into the importance of friendship and moral integrity we discussed in the heart-to-heart segment. To get up to Seattle for the championship game, I drove a few friends up there. Special shout outs to Sweat, his brother Voot, and my pal TJ. I'm going to butcher his last name. Asali. Yeah, Asali. Yeah, TJ. We all know TJ. Love you guys. We had about a 2-hour round trip. And during that drive, in my opinion, popular or not, we had one of the best adult civil conversations I've had in a long time. It was equal parts masculine debate about sports and history and vulnerable reflection on where we are in our lives. There was zero judgment, just honest engagement. It was incredible. Like, everybody shared, everybody had stories. Sweat even talked about a couple things. Voot told us a story that was crushing. It was a story about having everything and then losing it all and then being able to build his life back and what that means to him and being able to admit that he was wrong. That it was so touching. It was incredible. I was like, bro, if there's anybody I relate to what you're saying. All of us in that car had been in that same situation, or different situations, but similar experiences, right? And so we were all, it was just incredible. And I talk about the vulnerable reflection. We weren't afraid to be open and honest with each other, but we were still masculine. We were still men. And to me, that is, the real takeaway, especially through the holidays. Those are the types of people that I want in my life moving forward. People who can discuss the deepest, most controversial topics, whether it's Santa versus Jesus or football. And we discuss it with respect and openness. The importance through the holidays of having close friends and family, people who share your values, even if they don't share your path, is the truest form of holiday reality. Don't chase the material. Invest in the connection. And on that note, we wrap up Santa versus Jesus, the Christmas debate. Thanks for tuning in to Unpopular Opinion with Schaafy and Pals. Please let us know what you think. Hit me up on the Instagram, on the Twitter, on the Facebook, on the TikTokies. I'm going to start making pages for all of those, all of those social networking for the show. Show's been doing really well. Gosh, I'm so appreciative. Thank you so much. We're going to have some merch coming out. We're going to have some I got a new logo that a couple people have seen, and they're like, "Yo, it's pretty cool." So we're doing big things, and we might have one more episode to wrap up the season before the new year. But when the new year kicks in, we're gonna roll right into season 2, and we're gonna bring in all new pals and some old ones. And I love you guys. We might catch you next week or in the next 2, but yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Like and subscribe. Thank you for the 21 people that I'm your #1 podcast on Spotify. Holy cow. My hat's off to you. Schaafy out.